Hey everybody, welcome to the Z Louise Book Series channel. I'm Christina, Christina Today we are talking about Andrea Penrose Murder at Serpentine Bridge. I know the lighting is pretty bad. You have to just sorry. I apologize. So this was really good. It really flowed. Oh, before I get started, please like and subscribe to the video. It means a whole bunch to me that you like the videos. Uh, you need a 1,000 likes to do anything, and as you can see, I don't have very many, so I could use a few likes. If you can take it out of your heart to just tap that little key. It doesn't cost anything. It just takes a half a second to like it. But I appreciate you taking the time to view this video. The statistics say that nobody watches more than a minute. So please watch more than a minute, please. Alright, so I love that the boys are included in the mystery and are a big part, are big members of solving the plot. It's not just Wexford and Sloane, McKellen and Sheffield and Cordelia, but that the boys Raven and Hawk also have a participation, and they walk on the dog at night and they spot a body in the Serpentine, and the dog goes and rescue. So hey, if the kids ever have trouble swimming or get caught in a rip current or something, I'm pretty sure the dog is big enough, according to what they say in the book, he can rescue him. Okay, so there is this guy, that invented the gun. All right. Rexford unfolded the paper as he skimmed its contents, his brows pinched together in puzzlement. Why does this name sound familiar? Because, answered Charlotte, our experience with Professor Sudler spurred me to do a series of prints on mechanical innovation 6 months ago, and I made mention of him. Willis is an engineering wizard who is much admired for his imagination in envisioning and creating new technology. She paused. Apparently, it runs in the family, for his father made a fortune by designing a revolutionary machine for producing sugarcane. Ah, yes, now I recall. The fact that he was of African descent stirred some nasty gossip within the royal institution. The Earl frowned. My sense is he must have been extraordinarily talented to overcome the prejudice against blacks and garner the respect he deserved. Correct, confirmed Charlotte. The elder Mr. Willis was an enslaved plantation owner from Virginia who ran away to serve as a British officer during the American Revolution. If you recall, our government offered freedom for all blacks who threw off their chains and sided with us. Good. Much good it did the poor souls who took us at our word, replied Breakfast. We left most of them to their fate when we conceded defeat and sailed home. Well, that sucks. You're supposed to keep your word. Be that as it may, Willis the elder was one of the lucky ones. The officer was impressed with his new servant's skills in repairing mechanical objects, continued Charlotte. He saw to it that Willis came with him back to Britain and arranged an apprenticeship with Watt and Bolton Steam Engine Company. After that, Willis moved to Scotland for further study and then returned to the New World and settled in Barbados, which I assume is where he sold his machinery designs to all the planters in the Caribbean who grew sugarcane and then became very rich. The clatter of hurried steps in the corridor rose above the momentary silence. So, if Willis the younger inherited his father's genius for engineering, what exactly was he working on? Asked Westford. That's it. I never learned the answer. Why? Because it was a government secret. Shh, don't tell. Don't tell. Now, during this trip book, the boys make a new friend, and he's a really good friend, and he's a really talented friend, and he helps the boys expand their horizons. And we do not like this person's relatives at all, and they're a little on the cruel side, just a smidgen. And the boy is very creative and very talented, and the hawk and I always forget, but they become friends with Lord Peregrine, and they name him Falcon. Oh, Hawk, Raven, and Falcon, and they become best buds, and they take on each other's stuff. It's really, really good. So, Mr. Willis was apparently working on a secret project for the government. So, one more. Oh, they had this big thing, and apparently it was a little on the real side. I love the fact that Andrea takes a little bit of real history, a real stuff, and mixes it into the story. It's so interesting to learn about history while reading her books, and it just draws you in. And it was so multi-layered because there were several times when you're pointed in direction A or B, and then you're like, oh, but this eliminates A and B. But then there's this secret, and it comes out the back door and bites you in the butt. Because one of those um suspects who is ruled out becomes a suspect again, and some people we don't like, but it's a really good story, and I love her commentary. Um, oh, and there's a little bit of a chef. I don't know if you know this or not from the other books, but Sheffield has a bit of a crush on Cordelia, and he even takes a bullet for her in the fleshy army. It's okay. He's okay. But because she had this math person come into town, and she's like, "Oh, this is so fascinating. We got to talk math." And I know a person who would talk math for hours. Just loves math. Likes to read about math. Likes to read books about math. Theoretical math, that kind of math. And Mr. Sheffield gets his heart broken because he thinks because the guy knows math, he's going to take Cordelia away from him. So he heroically, accidentally, but heroically, takes the bullet and saves her life. And between Charlotte going, "Hey, Cordelia, wake up and smell the coffee." So we may or may not have news in this book regarding Sheffield and Cordelia. And we may or may not have news in this book about Peregrine or Falcon with the boys learning how to sword fence. What's it called? Fence. I just love the history. I just love these books, and I'm like, I need the next one now. I need it yesterday. Um, these are so good, but I just wanted just a little bit. There are times when an author gets extraordinary lucky, and history provides a setting for a mystery more perfect than any writer would dare to imagine. And it was. It was a really good mystery. A little complicated, though, with the auction explaining. And I was going to read that to you, but you can read that for yourself, because it is a little complicated, and I don't want to bore you, because you have to read about it, and it's really intricate procedure on how they do the private auction or silent auction. It's not one of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 bidder, 2 bidder, 3 bidder. It's not like that. This is a silent, secret auction where you gotta, you know, you don't know what anybody else is bidding. So either you're gonna put up or shut up. Because if it's a really, something you really want, then you're gonna have to shell out for it because you don't know what the other people are bidding, and it's a really complicated process. But the actual peace celebration held in London during June 1814, which play a leading role in this book's plot did indeed bring the major sovereigns of Europe, along with a host of leading political figures and military brass, to the city for a non-stop whirl of sumptuous parties and entertainment, state dinners, and gala fireworks. The events I describe in the story, the naval battle on the Serpentine, the visit to Oxford with the candlelight streets and the banquet at Radcliffe Library, the horse races at Royal Ascot, and the reception at Carlton House, all took place. Massive cool. Don't you love history? And you can enjoy history by learning about history. And may I take this time to don't forget your genealogy. That is your own personal history too. Knowing who your parents are and your grandparents are and your great great grandparents and their parents and their parents and their parents. If you go back far enough, you'll end up with 64 sets of grandparents. So take that on. But she did take liberties with some stuff, but it's a really good book, and I'm sorry it ended. I would have liked. Well, it is 361 pages, so that's massive cool. It's an enjoyable read. It's a good read. It's a pleasant read, and it's really massively good. Please take the time to like and subscribe to the channel too, please. It's much appreciated. I really appreciate it, and hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did. Um, so thank you, and please like and subscribe. It means so much to me. Thank you.